There are so many games out there that buying all of them would cost a fortune. So I have been digging through a bunch of demos on Steam to find the ones that are actually worth playing. For the first one, we're looking at the demo I have been quite excited to play, Wonderbird. In this game you drive a castle on wheels that needs to crush other driving castles and collect some other stuff. Well, mostly people. I quite like that concept, especially because it has medieval looks and also because the concept of the game makes it feel really unique. I'm quite fond of the fighting moments between the castles, but they can be really hectic and stressful, especially when all the soldiers and the archers decide to join in. I'm quite fond of the gameplay in this game, but it still has some hurdles. My biggest one is the movement. Outrunning the other castles sometimes just seems impossible. Maybe you get hurt with every encounter, and that eventually adds up, causing you to die. And if you manage to outrun the other castles, then there's the border of the map. If you get too close to it, you can end up getting stuck, and when that happened to me, it left me with a very sour aftertaste. I would say the weapons and everything that has to do with upgrading them are what makes this game extra special. But there's so much locked for the demo version that it leaves me excited for what's next. A demo that looked really fun to play is Everything is Scrap Animal Revolution. In here you play as a slime called Darwin, who preys on every living being in sight, and when they are killed he devours their corpses. The concept of eating the stuff you killed and gaining abilities is not new for me, since you see that in a lot of anime. But I like how it shows in this game. Once you have killed an animal with your moves, they drop a morsel you can eat. Then once you have filled up your belly and have eaten enough, you gain a level and get to choose your new ability. I love leveling up because it's the most fun thing that can happen to your character. Because with every new ability it changes how Darwin looks. So yeah, even though the concept is not new, I always love games like this. The joy of this game is that you can also play it over and over again, since when you die you can immediately restart the game. And if you got very far and still died, don't be sad, because you can enjoy the changing of Darwin all over again. The only downside to that is that it's very hard to quit the game and not just say one more. A demo I just had to try out is Wild Island. This dungeon crawler sees you playing as a red hooded figure in a jungle full of wild animals. What makes this game special are not only the looks, but also the wide variety of enemies and the items you can get. Like in all games, most enemies attack you just by tickling you or do a ranged attack and spit something at you. But what I love here is that they have different attack patterns that you need to have to dodge. The safe zone is also quite good. It's basically just a spot where you can spend your time fishing before you get to brutally beat up your enemies. After dying in the dungeon, it's very easy to start a new one. Especially because the game looks so inviting and you just have to walk up. So I found that it was not really a struggle to pick it up again. If they add more weapon slots in the beginning, it would be a bit nicer, since it feels a little packed with all the weapons you can pick and infinitely use. So to me it would make more sense if they get rid of the infinite usage of the weapons, because now they get dropped so often and you can't keep them all. Basically it just makes new weapons a bit useless in my opinion. I love a good dungeon crawler and this one is awesome, so I can't wait for its full release so I can see everything new in the game. A demo that makes for challenging gameplay is the Magus Circle. Here you play as a mage that attacks a big horde of enemies using spells. What makes the game challenging is that you need to do two things at the same time. I was first thinking that the drawing was gonna be the hardest, and it partly was with my magnificent drawing skills, but doing the walking and the drawing at the same time makes it really hard and was a little bit above my skill book. I especially love the feature that when you level up you need to draw a circle to get the stat upgrade. It makes it feel like you're putting in a little bit more effort in the game. Having a safe zone to return to each time you die is very appreciated. It makes it so even though this is a challenging game, you can get a little bit more relaxed. I also quite like the pixel aspect of the game. It especially shines the brightest when you have story moments. Again, what I especially liked about this demo, and I bet many will appreciate, is that you have to put in a little bit of effort to play the game. However, a game you can just go with without a second thought also isn't bad. Another demo that was a blast to play was Zed's Archery. In this game you attack targets with arrows, and then once you have defeated them you get coins for it. It's not really a game that results in much, because you can't do much other than stare at your screen and click here and there, but it at least entertained me for a few hours. The first thing that caught my attention in this game were the looks, and I'm also always fond of a good skill tree. I also really liked in the gameplay that you could go to other pages for the upgrades. However, I found it a bit annoying that when you have gems you can forge with, you get a notification. Because in the demo version the forge upgrades are logged, it's quite annoying. But I can imagine that it will probably clear itself out in the full release. The enemies also weren't half bad. I first thought they were just practice before starting the real runs, but they weren't, and I was a bit stunned at that. I liked the little variety in them. But what I really liked about this game, loved about this game, was that when they killed your character you didn't need to start all over again. I think this game would be perfect if you want to do a quick little gaming session, and I'm really looking forward to what will be added later on. If you want to see another video like this in the future, consider subscribing, and if you want to see another video right now, click here.